Hello Gemini, welcome to your monthly reading for the month of March, and we're going to be pulling a plant ally spirit card for you from the illustrated herbary from Maya Toll, and that energy is going to help you throughout the month of March, set up the tone, help you get some insight into things that are going to matter, and give you a plant to connect to. It's all good stuff, right? Don't forget to check out your moon and rising for extra information. Let's get into it. And your card for the month is... Oh, we've got nettle. Oh, well, you can imbibe some then. Get your nettle tea on, should you wish to. And the main message here is pay attention. That's a little bit unnerving as a card. That card is looking right at you. So here's the bigger image, just to freak you out some more from the book. And you can get like the full vortex thing going on there. That's... some interesting energy. And what does she have to say about this gorgeous plant spirit? I mean, I can talk about nettle for far too long, so we're not gonna overdo it. We're gonna stick within our sort of 10-minute frame. But we do not know if the names of plants around us. Sorry, let me start again. If we do not know the names of the plants around us, if we do not acknowledge the individualistic curl of a leaf or the creep of a rhizome, they all run together and look like a wall of greenery. That's when we humans start to generalise, lumping anything without a showy flower into the category of weed. Nettles will have none of that. Pay attention, she admonishes. We're all different, all unique. When you acknowledge Nettle's individuality and treat her with thoughtful respect, she'll let you close. But forget yourself, and you won't forget her sting. Nettle reminds you to see individuality and treat the world around you accordingly. If Nettle is prickling you, pause and pay attention. The reflection for you this month is who is unseen. Nettle medicine is vast. It is. Nettle has many, many, many uses. And fundamental. She gifts us with the building blocks needed for the human body, as well as healthy soil. Because she's not showy or flashy, she's often not grown in the garden, and her sting pushes her to the outskirts of civilization. But once known, she is beloved. Are there entire groups of people relegated to the outskirts of your consciousness? Older folks often feel like they're no longer seen as individuals, and whole groups of people are lumped together under the title of race, ethnicity, or affiliation. Nettle asks, who has become invisible to you? She reminds you of the gifts you're missing when you stop seeing individuality. The ritual here is of true seeing. Nettle says, see me, and really, isn't that what each of us wants? To be seen, to be acknowledged. Make this your ritual today. See the people around you as unique individuals. Walk through the world with presence, acknowledging in your heart your family, the people with whom you work or study, and the folks standing in line with you at the supermarket. In your mind, say two unique things to each person you meet. When you slip into your internal world, that place where other people become a bit blurry, consciously pull yourself back to being externally present. As you focus outwards, imagine every cell in your body being aware of the details or life around you. This is really interesting for you, Gemini, because this is the first of the readings that I have seen so far, which is much more about being externally present rather than being internally focused. That might suggest that for you, the journey over the last few months has been a little bit more internal, and maybe you've kind of got stuck in headspace a little bit, which is a very real shadow side of your sign, that you can get very stuck in that mercurial energy in your head, and you overthink, and much like the Virgos, because I as your twin sign, I feel you. But you can get very caught into your version of events, the way that you see the world, the way that you're thinking of, and this energy really is asking you to step outside of your experience throughout March. It's being a little bit more empathic and emotive when you consider the needs and well-being of other people. And not just ignoring people, not ghosting people, not just cutting people off because it doesn't automatically fit with something that you want for the month, or the way that you've decided something should be. Now, your thought processes on this might be very thorough, and I'm sure they are, but at the same time, you have to remember that everybody's experiences are going to be different. So if you find yourself arguing with people in March, you might want to take a moment to step outside of the way that something is making you think or feel, and really have a deep look at how somebody else feels about that situation or things. You don't have to agree with them on every point. You don't have to give away your self, but you have to consider it, kind of thing. It's also a really wonderful plant, nettle. It's found in many, many different ecosystems. It's very protective. And so, you know, it's said to have been a death doorway. The stinging nettle also holds the reputation of being a protector, and can hold the line between the other realms. The Irish call it the Niantog, which is really cool. And there is ideas that stinging nettle is a binary herb spiritually, based on the idea that it has both male and female plants growing in clusters, a monoculture, which I thought was really interesting. It's a survivor, and it can, you know, overcome difficulties and things of that nature. It's really wonderful for a whole host of different magical properties. Protection, as I've said, warding, healing, strength, exorcism, consecration, reversing hexes, lust, keeping spirits at bay, and glamour magic. It's associated with Mars and fire, as well as the gods of Horus, Cernunnos, Thor, and Hades. So that kind of fiery Mars energy is at counter odds almost with the energies of the month. So you might be feeling kind of out of sorts this month, and you might have to find that you are going back into that internal headspace, setting yourself in a bad emotion, but also then not staying there and going out, being more dynamic, giving into that fire energy and reaching out. So that kind of stinging feeling feels like there might be arguments for you this month, if we're not being careful, and that can be with an inner self, but it feels more external than that. So make sure that you respect boundaries, as well as making sure your boundaries are respected, because that's what a lot of the plant spirit medicine is about. Boundaries, you find them out in the wild. If you cross them, they will sting you. If you do not respect them, they will hurt. But there is such a great amount of medicine available from this plant that to ignore it is folly, because it's not as pretty or as flashy as it might first have appeared. So be careful of first appearances, giving away some of your shadows this month. Do not just go for what looks pretty on the surface. Go for what truly enriches you deep down. Many blessings, my lovelies. And if you would like to hear more, you can, of course, get a deep monthly reading if you're on the correct tier on Patreon, or if you are just on Patreon in general, there's a weekly reading for in-depth insights to help you through each week. Many blessings, and I'll talk to you all very, very soon.